Hi, everybody. Welcome back to FoxNews.com Live. Happy you're here with us. We have a very interesting discussion we're going to have with our panel. We're joined by special guest Renee Schmitz here with us in studio, and she is the editor of SheBites.com. Fantastic website you should check out. And there you go. Take a look at it right there. And today's topic is whether or not the U.S. is seeking to block AT&T takeover of T-Mobile. What kind of impact could this have if, in fact, it goes through? What would happen if it was blocked, the impact to the consumer? So let's lay out the case for us a little bit. Department of Justice involved. They don't want to see this happen or go through. Tell us why.
Yeah, they don't want to see this deal happen. They're worried about higher prices for the consumer. They're worried that there's going to be less competition in the market, that quality is going to go down. But at the end of the day, you have to ask ourselves, AT&T controls like 32% of the market right now. If we're going to 43% and we're going from 4 carriers to 3, is it really going to make a big difference? And that's, it's up for debate.
Yeah, now tell us about kind of the different sides, what the positions they're taking, what their strongest points are.
Well, they're looking at it from the perspective of obviously protecting the consumer on the one hand, but on the flip side, you have to look at the value add that you would have for, let's say, the T-Mobile customer who right now can't get their hands on some of the most sought after devices like the iPhone, which is not available on that network. So there's also a benefit to seeing this deal go through. Among many other benefits, for example, AT&T is looking to add 5,000 jobs by bringing in some of the wireless call centers. And in our economy, it would be a huge benefit to have another 5,000 jobs. Exactly.
We're for jobs. So if the DOJ is accurate, they're saying consumers would be facing higher prices. They're saying if the merger goes through, consumers would have higher prices, poor quality services, fewer choices, fewer innovative products. What evidence do they have to support those claims?
Again, this is just up for debate at this point because you're going from 32% to 43% of the market. Right now, T-Mobile, they're serving the lower end of the market, but so does Sprint. So you'll still have a company that'll sort of be the bottom feeder, so to speak, here. And AT&T and Verizon are really leading the market, and does it really make such a big difference if you go from 30% to 40%?
Okay. So basically, and also T-Mobile has an obligation for their shareholders.
Of course.
Right, because they haven't had very good profits at all as of recent.
Kimberly, that's a great point. For the past 4 out of 5 years, T-Mobile has been reporting losses. And, there is an obligation to satiate shareholders. And I think that's what the parent company, Deutsche Telekom, is trying to do here. And so, by not letting this deal happen, it really just doesn't make sense because it's not clear if T-Mobile can be a standalone company in the future anyway.
So this is rumored to be, I guess, like $39 billion merger. It's quite substantial, which is why the Department of Justice is getting involved. But they're kind of, alleging that this is an antitrust violation. Or is it just the free market and capitalism and mergers like this, make sense?
I feel mergers like this make sense, but it really depends on who you ask.
Sure.
But, I think AT&T and T-Mobile are just going to litigate this. Estimates are coming in that maybe a lawsuit like this would cost $10 million, but when you're looking at a $39 billion transaction, is that really that much money? And also, if this deal doesn't go through, there's a pretty significant fee that AT&T would have to pay to T-Mobile in the realm of over $6 billion, and that's also a considerable amount of money. So a $10 million lawsuit, might make sense in a case like this.
They have a lot to lose in this. And the word out on the street was that AT&T was surprised by this filing by the Department of Justice, that they hadn't really noticed or caught wind of it or anticipated it.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. This has been in discussion since March of this year. And from what I understand, the DOJ has been party to these talks and the FCC has been party to these talks. So it's really kind of surprising that this came at the last minute like this. And I think everybody was sort of taken off guard by that.
Yeah, it's just very interesting. You just wonder about the motivations of the Department of Justice if they're getting in on this sort of, unexpectedly. This wasn't anticipated. They're saying they're trying to protect consumer rights, but there's strong arguments on the other side to say that it actually would benefit consumers if this were to go through with better services, et cetera, and combined. We see these mergers like this, all the time.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. you know, it really could go either way. And I think that maybe if AT&T gives some concessions to see this deal happen, it's absolutely possible that it'll go through. And maybe that's all it is. Maybe, you know, the DOJ is not being clear about something that they'd like to see in this deal, and they're going about it with some hardball tactics.
Does this surprise you at all, Dee Dee, like that the DOJ is getting involved in a situation like this?
I don't know. I think it seems like this administration is getting too involved in everything,
Very
including cars
politicized.
and telephones and everything. It's just kind of lay off. I mean, let the businesses figure it out themselves.
Yeah, they've been quite active in cases. Jamu?
I don't know if I'm comfortable with letting the businesses figure it out themselves, because if you look at, you know, what preceded this great recession that we're dealing with still today, it's when the banks started, you know, having so much more freedom to get into the housing market and gamble with, you know, gamble with our economy, and we've seen where that led us. I'm excited that we have an administration that is sticking up for the most vulnerable, the poorest, you know, communities out there, and not just allowing us to get to that place where we see in my sci-fi movies that I'm such a fan of, where, you know, corporations control countries.
Oh, no. All the bailouts have been bad. We're in so much debt now. We're in so much debt now because of all these bailouts. They're all wrong. We should let commerce happen. Adam Smith should come back to life and talk about, you know, survival of the fittest.
Here to begin
No, absolutely
with,
not. It's
the housing crash and all of the speculation.
No, where we are now is because of all the
controls.
bailouts and the terrible stimulus, and now they want to do more of that. So no, we're already in so much debt. The little debt meter's killing us.
Before the
Oh, is this? Oh no, are we going to blame Bush
banks
now? Okay, let me go ahead and say
this
it.
great recession.
No, I think that we're a capitalist nation, and we're going the other direction, which is very dangerous. We're on a slippery slope, so we need to go way back to
how did
capitalism.
we get here to begin with?
What do you mean?
2008.
Oh, we're back to Bush again.
The great housing crisis.
No,
I'm not
it's
talking about
President
Bush. I'm
Bush's
talking
fault.
about the folks right down the street from us here in the studio.
We just have too much
And
government
when
intervention
they
now,
started
and it's
doing
getting
all
worse
of the
and worse.
speculation
I want to live in the United
and
States of America,
deregulated- Come on, we
not
cannot
Europe.
pretend that the wealthiest,
See what you
most
started with
profitable
your argument now.
companies contributed.
Oh, the ones that pay all the taxes? Yeah, because the
contributed
lower
to
50
getting us
don't.
here are responsible for why we
these
got
two
here.
are going to continue to
So,
argue about
AT&T,
all of this.
T-Mobile.
I don't
Hey,
know.
go business. Go
All right, I want to
telephone. You
give
can do it.
Renee some final thoughts, a chance to make some final comments, and also kind of tell us a little bit about your website. We'll put it up again, so if people, we go there, what can we find?
Well, if you go to shebites.com, it's actually a resource for women on technology. I find that technology publications largely ignore women. Women largely ignore technology publications. And so I think shebites.com is a really great site where women can read about IT, and it's from a woman's perspective. It's authored by me, and I think it's a great site. So I would definitely recommend that any businesswoman or any woman interested in technology, check it out.
I have a quick technology question. Sure. I'm getting very tired of my BlackBerry. I don't know, it's bugging me lately. We're about to break up. That's what I'm saying. Maybe I should finally jump. I have an iPad. I have a Mac computer, but this one just seems to not be able to be able to handle sometimes all the amount. And so I hear there's a new iPhone coming out, and then my old stomping ground, San Francisco, one of the prototypes was taken from a bar in the Mission District at Cavatu, this bar.
Yeah. It was a wild story. They tracked it.
Yeah.
They found, well, when the iPhone 4 prototype a year ago or a few months ago, when that was lost, it was actually sold for $5,000. This time, this one was sold for $200 on Craigslist. They somehow tracked it back to the person who sold it. They searched the house. They couldn't find it. But I think it's a little bit embarrassing, and I think the lesson here is when you drink too much, you get forgetful. So maybe Apple employees shouldn't spend so much time at bars with.
Do you notice that they do? What's wrong with them?
For the most profitable country in the company
Yeah,
in the
we would keep it
world,
that
of
way.
course they're celebrating a little bit more
All
than
the time. Yeah, but maybe like
the
duct
9%
tape the
of us who are
prototype to your
unemployed.
body or something. Can't be like this.
But
Put a
Kim,
woman
you
in
have to
charge.
go to an iPhone. I
know,
have to say, you have to go
have
to
an
an
iPhone.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend you get an iPhone. I really personally can't live without mine. And, Sprint is getting the iPhone in a few months, which is great. They've been waiting for that for such a long time.
Fox, we have AT&T. So.
Well, if you guys do AT&T, it works too. And, 4G is rolling out. Hopefully the iPhone 5 will have the 4G network.
When's this coming out?
Like end of the month, isn't it?
Like October. It was supposed to be September, but now
I'm
they
gonna
sort of
wait.
pushed it back
I'm gonna wait for the new one. Don't you think?
I would recommend you
That's
wait.
what I'm gonna do.
Wait, see what happens. Let them
Hard to
work
get
out
such
some of the
sweet
quirks
sounds.
and the operating
I have
system.
AT&T and iPhone, and you will love it.
Oh, I think I
You should
have
switch.
to do it. I really am high on that. I'm going to go check out your site as well. Some more She Bites. That's fantastic. Renee Schmidt, thank you so much for being with us today. We love it. We love smart, techie women, don't we?
Women
love
should
it.
run everything. See, the woman
I
wouldn't
think
have lost
so.
that.
The world. Women should run the world.
Totally
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Lots more when we come back.